Hi everyone, Matt here with a quick deck tech on Umori Gruul, the deck I'm going to be bringing to the Mythic Qualifier tomorrow. So to get started, I want to talk a little bit about why I'm still playing Umori as a companion. I get a lot of questions about whether it would be better to just play an Embercleave or a Domri or something along those lines. And there's two reasons why having Umori in this deck as a companion makes more sense. The first is the game plan of this deck is basically to power out some big hasty creatures that are really threatening on their own, so you don't need an effect like an Embercleave to put you over the top. And in fact, not having one actually minimizes the chance that you draw something that doesn't really impact an empty board. The other reason is that having the guaranteed 8th card in Umori every single game outweighs the benefit of sometimes drawing a non-creature card that you might want to include in the deck. Lastly, we also do have several pump effects that are in the form of creatures themselves in both Ronus and Enray's Forerunners. So that is why I am still running with Umori as a companion even after the new companion rule change. So let's dive into the deck itself. In the 1-drop slot, we have Arboreal Grazer. Pretty much your best possible opening hands have a Grazer and 3 lands, so that is what you are looking for most of the time when you look at your opening 7. We also have a Stonecoil Serpent, which obviously can be played anywhere along the curve. The Pro Multicolor is really relevant right now, and it's a great mutate target with the counters stacking up with whatever you mutate onto it. In the 2-drop slot, we have Marauding Raptor. This is our other piece of early ramp that we are looking for in our opener. Not only does the Raptor help us power out all of our creatures, we make sure to play nothing that dies to a single Raptor trigger, so the downside is really mitigated there. But also, the Raptor is a good attacker. It's a 2/3 body by itself, and it gets pumped when we play cards like Shifting Ceratops. In the 3-drop slot, I have just one card, and that is a single copy of Yorvo. This is a flex spot that I've been playing with for a little while. I think having one more early play or one more follow-up play to a turn 1 Grazer feels really strong. Additionally, Yorvo, having those counters that keep stacking on, works really well as a mutate target. And it also makes our Mobilized District cheaper to activate, which comes up once in a while. In the 4-drop slot, we have a lot of things that we're not actually planning to pay 4 mana for. The 4 Gem Razors, we are often mutating in on our second turn after playing a Grazer for 3 mana. Same with the Migratory Greathorns. Again, a Grazer into any of these cards is an ideal start. We are planning to pay 4 mana for Questing Beast. That is our true 4-drop. And then Shifting Ceratops is a little bit more of a 5 mana spell because you really don't want to play it unless you can haste it up and get the 5 damage in that turn. So the actual curve of the deck looks a little bit more like what you're seeing here. Then we have God Eternal Ronus, 2 copies in the 5-drop slot. This is a great way to pump the power of our team and be a pretty large creature in its own right with Death Touch. One nice thing is that Ronus actually gives the creatures vigilance when it pumps them, so you can swing in without having to worry about potentially getting hit hard on the backswing if you're playing another aggressive deck. And then in the top end of our deck, we've got one Ravager Worm. I think this card is really, really good against all of the Temur Reclamation decks. I know it's a bit expensive, but the ability to blow up a Castle Vantress or a Triome can be an absolute game changer. It's also a fight creature, so if you are playing a deck that has a must-deal-with threat, this gives you an out to take care of that. We don't have a lot of removal in the main deck, so both abilities can come up in different situations, and probably most importantly, it is just a large, hasty 4-power threat that we can follow up a board wipe with. And then the very top end, 2 Enray's Forerunners. This is our way to close out the game. We do get to Enray's mana fairly consistently, especially with the Marauding Raptor and sometimes Umori effects. And yeah, this just allows us to punch through an insane amount of damage. Also, one of the nice things about Enray's Forerunners is if you're playing against, for example, a Sacrifice deck that is gumming up the ground with a bunch of cats, this helps you punch through very easily over all of those small blockers. And then the mana base, we are playing 26 lands. I do think you need to run 26 lands to really take advantage of the Grazer ramp. One of the things that I've added most recently is the Mobilized District. I found this card to be excellent as a way to get that last little bit of damage in after a board wipe. It also gets cheaper if you are able to have some of your legendary creatures in play. So Questing Beast, Ronus, and Yorvo all give us a discount on the Mobilized District. And the fact that it has Vigilance means you can attack with it and then tap it for mana after attacks. We have 4 Temples, 4 Stomping Grounds to help keep our mana base consistent. 5 Mountains, 2 Castle Garenbrigs also helps us get up to the mana for the Enraze Forerunners, and then 10 Forests. One thing that I will talk more about in my article on the deck is on the draw, you can usually get away with cutting a mountain because you were kind of in a position where the right number of lands for the deck is 25.5, but I want to make sure that when we are on the play, we can always maximize our Grazer equity. And the other thing is you're usually lowering your curve after sideboarding, which makes it even easier to get away with cutting a single land. All right, that is Umori Gruul. I hope you enjoyed this deck tech, and good luck, and may you always have a Grazer in your opening 7.